So while I'm still recovering from my upper respiratory infection, I thought that I'd do a video of all the things that I've learned so far about restoring a vintage Airstream.
Looking at a self-made woman, you should know I got nothing for free in this life. None of us can know what's coming.
Well, it hasn't been easy in the last couple of weeks because it's been so hot and so muggy and raining all the time here in Florida. So that's going to delay deadlines that I have for working on the Airstream. And not only that, when you're working on a project like this, it's easy to get caught up with the way that you see it from the outside. But when you start peeling back the layers, it's really different, because once you peel back one layer, you see something else and something else and something else. Fortunately, with this Airstream, I haven't had too many bumps in the road, but after the last video that I posted, I did realize that it's more than just cleaning. The heating duct work has to be removed, because who knows what's in there from ages and ages of not being cleaned. So that all that duct work is going to be removed. I'm going to just stick with an electric heater for now, because most likely I'm not going to trust the propane lines either in this Airstream. Just thought that at some point we were going to reuse them. And that could be the case. I might have somebody professionally test the whole system for propane for me and make sure that it's fine. But at this point, I'm not going to spend too much money on it right now, because it's primarily going to be a place where Christian is going to live. Once he's 18, 1 year from now, I am hitting the road. I am going to be by myself. I'm going to be hitting the road. Probably go see Lewis, and I'm probably going to do some traveling up north, and that's really what I want to do. So I will be leaving Christian alone on the property unless he joins the Coast Guard prior to that. So if everything works out there, he'll be at the Coast Guard. I do want to travel in the truck camper because I've already been out west, and I've already seen the possibilities of what you can do out west. I want to go and I want to see stuff, and I want to be as free as possible. Because I've already learned my lessons traveling in my other travel trailer when I was on the road with Mike and Christian back in 2016, I have decided that I'm going to be traveling in the truck camper. The Airstream will be here for Christian if he has leave from the Coast Guard. It's just going to be a place for him to be able to stay. It's also going to serve as a guest house for people if they come to visit. The Airstream also serves as a travel for all of us. If we all decide to travel, me, Christian, Lewis, his kids, we're also working on something like that when the Airstream is done, that we can go locally, maybe to Cedar Key or back up to Carlberg and stay at an RV park with the Airstream, and all of us can stay at the Airstream versus having to rent like a cabin or something like that. That's one of the things that I was missing. That's the reason I got the travel trailer, because I was missing that part of our life where we used to do that when Armando was here, when I started this channel at the travel trailer. So we used to go to an RV park and we used to unhook. We had air conditioning, we had swimming pools. We were sightseeing, coming back, I'd cook dinner, and we'd watch movies, we'd relax, and that was really fun. I loved that about that, because we were at a new place all the time. We were exploring. We were doing basically the same things we did at home, which is great when you're dealing with the elderly. And that was a great thing to be able to do for my uncle, because my uncle liked routine. So I was able with this large travel trailer to have a routine with him. It's tough being in a small little truck camper when it's raining for days. I mean, it really gets to you after a while, the space. I'm not gonna lie, it does get to you, and it's nice to be able to go outside. Sometimes when you're dealing with bad weather and you just have to be indoors for a couple of days, it really is difficult to be inside, especially because I have 3 pets. So that's just the way it is. That's the reality of it is. So for us, I think it just has to do with the versatility that I have with the Airstream, that I can park it at home and use it for whatever type of trip that I decide I'm going to go to, or whoever's coming along with me. But for as far as I'm concerned, traveling by myself next year when Christian's 18, I will be leaving in the truck camper. The Airstream will be here for him. It will be his home. I'm not sure what he decides to do. I've already given him a limit, and I said, when you're 18, I am hitting the road. You have 1 year to prepare yourself for for that. He's got to figure out how he's going to work those things in the next year, and I'm here to help him. But we've had a lot of delays with the Airstream. He moved into the Airstream, and then he ended up moving out of the Airstream. He still has some things in the closet. The closets were clean, that was all scrubbed in, but I don't feel that it's safe for him to be in there yet 100%. And because of the extreme weather in the evenings, he can't sleep well. He's going to school. He's got homework to do. It's really not convenient for him to be living in the Airstream at this point. So while he's going to school right now during the day, I'll be doing most of the repairs in the Airstream. I did order my mask, and it's right here. I have it here for you. So I will be doing a review of this mask. I purchased it on Amazon. This is a 3-in-1 respirator, and it got good reviews. I ordered it because it's multi-purpose. It says right here it's multi-purpose on the box. And that's what I want. I want something that I could use when I'm cleaning, when I'm scrubbing, and I want something also that I can use when I am, dealing with pain. I also purchased the crud cutter because up at the top of the Airstream, there's a lot of oil there. It's very greasy in there. People were frying in that Airstream at some point. I don't know why. And you just don't go outside and fry your food outside. I mean, I guess if it's a rainy day, you can't do that, but I never fry in my travel trailer at all. If I have to fry something, I go outside and fry, or I just don't fry. That's what's going on right now. The Airstream is clean. We just have to really get the oil off the ceiling. There's a lot of oil, and I'm afraid the paint's not going to stay on there. Then we're going to start sanding a little bit, and then we're moving on to painting. But anyway, today's video, I wanted to talk to you about the title of the RV. So I have the title of the RV. I didn't register the RV, but in Florida, you can title your RV, and you don't have to register it yet. Since it's not going to be a vehicle that is going to be moved for a while, I didn't want to go ahead and spend the money on registering. I'll just figure that I'll register once it's ready to go, once we're ready to send it off to the mechanic for the tires and for the brake system. At that point, a few weeks before, I will register the vehicle so that we can move it along over there. But for right now, it's just going to be pretty much at a standstill at the house. It's not really going to go anywhere. And I decided just to get the title and not register it. So that saves me a little bit of money. As far as the title is concerned, when you're buying from a consignment dealer, not necessarily do they always have the title in hand. Sometimes the other person has the title. So what happens is we made the negotiations and whatever, and then I could have come back and picked up the Airstream, but I thought to myself, I knew the tires were bad. They were not good. And I had about 13 miles to get to my house in the Airstream. And I thought, well, it's probably better if I pay this guy. So I paid the guy $30 to deliver it for me. I didn't pay him until he delivered the vehicle. So the transaction happened when the guy came, and it wasn't the owner, it was just the delivery guy brought. So I gave him the rest of the money. I mean, I had left a deposit, but the rest of the money was given to the guy when he delivered the Airstream. And at that point, that's when I got the title, and I looked at it, and I was like, oh, this could be a problem. And I let it go because I had the title, okay? Once I had the title in my hand and everything was good, I thought, okay, how do I register this? As a dealer, he's really supposed to do it because he's doing the transaction. This is what the tag says. But my idea is that this guy pocketed some money, because it was a cash deal. When I went to register it, they said, oh no, the dealer has to do it for you because you bought it through them, and they know they have to do that. So the delay came in trying to get the bill of sale from the owner, because it was a third-party transaction, should have been done like this. So this guy didn't want to do it that way. He said, oh, it's going to cost you money. It's going to cost you like $200 to do this. Worked out in the end that I got the bill of sale, and I was able to register it. You sign it, but you never know what's going to happen after you sign it, because we weren't physically there. So in other words, once I try to register it, somebody can come back and say, well, I'm the power of attorney of this person, or this person was deceased. They signed it before they deceased, but now you're doing a transaction that they signed before. So is it going to be legal? Because now you're saying that the person's in front of you and you saw them sign it. You don't know who signed it. That could have also been a child or somebody who put somebody in a nursing home and they signed the title. So at that point, that's when a lot of questions popped up for me. Not only did I spend money on this product, I'm also investing money into it. So if I register it and then, like, 40 days later, somebody comes back to me and says, well, but this person passed away, so how do you have this? How do you have this? How do you that? So that was a big concern for me, was all that. In the end, everything worked out, and I was able to get everything straightened out, and it's titled up in my name. But these are just questions that I want you to see. When you purchase something, especially through consignment, make sure that the person is in front of you and the transaction is that way. Number 2, it's probably better to pay with a check, because I don't know if the middleman pocketed some money on that day. I'm going to offer this much, and he could have gone back to the other people and and said, oh, well, she's going to give you this much, and he could have pocketed an easy $500 to $1,000 on that deal. That could have been what would have happened. There's a lot of ways to do it when these consignment guys. So look out for that, because these guys are looking out to pocket a lot of money in the long run. Okay, so but everything's worked out, and I have the title, and I just don't have it registered at the moment. So that will come later on in the future. I said repairs are going to take time. As I take on one layer, I find things that I didn't plan for, and now I have to plan for and add them in. I pretty much had an idea of what it was going to cost, and I'm still not over that yet, but the time is what I didn't plan for, because with the heat, with what happened to me with the upper respiratory infection, these were things that I didn't plan for. So of course it's going to take a little bit longer for me to work on these things. The circuit breakers are old. They are like these old fuses that you turn, and that will probably all have to be changed out. It just might be easier to run all new wires in there. So these are things that I'm looking at, and I'm like, well, I didn't plan for this, and I didn't plan for that. But it is an 82, and the old lines are in there. So, when you go in there for something that old, remember, you can look at the fuses. It's very important to look at the fuses, because you will have to most likely change out the fuses at some point. The propane lines are going to be old, and the fuses are going to be old, and you're going to have to change the electrical system in there if you don't want a fire. That's really important, and that's something that I didn't plan for, because I just didn't think that the electrical box was going to be that old. I mean, I've seen old RVs with old electrical boxes, but nothing that old like I saw with this. So this was a lesson that I learned. I had an idea that I can put an ads in Craigslist and hire handyman to come and help me with some of the things I need to get done. Unfortunately, I've changed my mind with something like that, because I recently placed an ad for a handyman so that he can just do something as simple as just helping me with my lawnmower. And I thought, great, I met the perfect handyman. He can, come in. He was telling me some of the things that he could do. He could do tinted windows, and he can paint and do this. And I thought, well, I could always, pay somebody to do this stuff for me. But the simple thing that I gave him to do, he didn't do it right. So, it's a big headache to deal with people on Craigslist. I had a lot of people contact me on the ad that I placed for a handyman, and I had people who didn't show up. People who wanted to bid prices. It just seemed to me like it was a lot of trouble and a lot of work, and a lot of not know if these people even know what they're doing. I just prefer to do what I can myself, and anything that's really major that needs work, and pay that out. Like, I'm going to pay a mobile RV technician to do that. Find people who are particular, who have a business, who are mobile, and do that kind of work. And you're going to pay a little bit more, I'm sure, than just some handyman. Like, for instance, the tinted windows. Yes, I can have this guy come here and do tinted windows, but this guy's not a specialist at tinted windows. So I rather find somebody who's mobile, who dedicates themselves to tinted windows, because they are going to know how to do it, and they're going to know what product to do. I could do a lot of things, but it's really hard for me to work with Christian in there. It's a small space, and I have an idea to do something, and then he doesn't want to do it. Like, it's very frustrating for me to know that he's got to wear his mask and his glove, and he doesn't want to do it. And I prefer him not to do it if he's not going to be wise in his choices. So at this point, now he's back in school. Once the weather gets a little better and I feel a little better, I'm going to start doing the Airstream on my own. And you'll see, I'll be bringing you clips of that, probably short videos of just what's coming up and what I've been doing on the Airstream, because I'm not going to have a lot of time to edit with everything that's going on. So anyway, guys, that's what's going on. Stay tuned at the end of this video. I have a really exciting clip that I found that was in a prior video that I did. And I thought it was exciting to show you that when you call the universe or God, or however you want to say it, I like to say that it's God. And sometimes you think your dreams aren't going to come true, but He provides. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, please share it, and please subscribe. Way home, I'm going to trade in my trailer for something else.
Ooh, truck camper.
We're not going to fit in a truck camper.
Mom, I was just kidding.
Have you seen him and his dog? We can fit in an Airstream, though.
Sometimes